So today is Saturday the 29th of January. I whacked all my hair off, as you can probably see. Like, all gone. Completely off. Um it was just at a length where it was really like starting to do my head in, so I decided just take it off. It's gonna fall out anyway. And I much prefer this. I know that it doesn't look that great right now, but I'm also sitting here full of pain and not feeling very well. Um but I really like it, and it just feels so much nicer on my head. I have an absolute ton of updates here. Of this is the only recording I've made so far this week, but I'll get into that as I go through the update. But just as a wee quick side note, um, when I went to the hairdressers, it was the first time I'd ever been to this hairdressers in particular. It's called Creative Hair, and they are based in Dundonald in Belfast. And whenever I went in, all the girls were lovely. They were really nice, really chatty, made you feel at home straight away. And I sort of got talking near the end of having my hair cut, and I think it was the owner was like, "So, what do you think?" And I was like, "Well, it doesn't really matter what I think, because I'll not have it for too long anyway." And she kind of like looked at me a wee bit, thinking that what I meant was that I didn't like it. And I was like, no, I love my hair. It's just it's gonna fall out anyway, because of chemotherapy coming up. Got talking and stuff, and she was just giving me lots of advice and tips and things like that of different people that she knew that had been through similar. And whenever I was leaving, I just said, "So how much do I owe you?" And they wouldn't take any money from me. And I just started bawling my eyes out, and so did the owner of the salon, so did one of the other girls. We were all standing there in a wee circle crying our eyes out. She's like, "No, your haircut's on us. You can pay for your haircuts whenever you're through cancer and your hair's growing back." So I just thought that was the nicest, just the nicest gesture, like just so kind of them. So I'm delighted with my hair. um and regardless, they'll have a customer for life now. And I'll be making sure all my friends and family go to that place, because even if I didn't like the haircut, and if they hadn't have done that gesture with me, the vibe in the place is just so good. It's very friendly, and all the girls there seem really down to earth. But right, that's that bit aside. Let me get on. I've actually got notes here because there's so much to go into. So I had my big appointment on Tuesday. Um, Basically what had happened was I went, they had sort of went through all the consent forms and things like that. I had blood tests. The oncologist just talked me through everything again. I met with one of the pick placers, I think they're called, or the pickers or something like that. They have a weird like sort of name for the people that do the pick lines. But I'd spoke to one of them just because I was quite concerned about, like, whenever I was getting my pick line on Tuesday, I had no idea. Again, hold on, we'll get on to that. But I was quite nervous and stuff like that about it, and they talked me through it. I got another ECG done whenever I was there as well. Whenever I went in to see my oncologist, he actually said that whenever they'd done the original like echo and heart trace and stuff like that, that my heart is quite square shaped. And I swear to God, these are his words. He described my heart as a swinging brick. So nothing about me is normal, and my heart isn't either, apparently. So um that's what happened. So I filled out my consent forms. I had the ECG. He talked through all the side effects and risks and stuff like that. Told me that I had a swinging brick, and then I found out that I'd already been booked in for my pick line, and it was happening on Thursday. That's Thursday past. I currently have my pick line in. I'm gonna talk about that now too, but I'm trying to get this up so that I can show you. What I'll do is I'll insert pictures of it, because I have it covered at the minute, but I've got a cover on it. I don't want to pull it up. There's my dangly bit there, it's just tucked in. I'll insert pictures now for you to have a look. So the pick line, man, it wasn't great. And not for the reasons that I thought it wouldn't be. I had it built up in my head that I was going to feel this tube getting weaved up through my arm and into my chest, and that wasn't it. Things happened that I had not prepared myself for at all. I took the biggest dose of shakes whenever I was lying on the bed that you wouldn't believe. Like, I was vibrating. I was like visually shaking, like so aggressively, and I couldn't stop it. I think it was just my adrenaline had went through the roof. Um, so there was that. But then, whenever I was having the PICC line put in, basically, for any of you guys that don't know what it is, it's they will sort of cut a wee hole and they'll find one of your veins in your arm, using like an ultrasound machine, you know, like that you would be scanned with if you were pregnant, to guide it. So what happened with me though was, they would numb me up with lidocaine. They made the wee hole and went in, and the lidocaine was fine at first, but after it had been in me for a bit, whatever vein they were in shrank down to nothing. So I had to basically go through having a PICC line placed 3 times. Now, I don't mean like threaded through and up into my chest and stuff. I mean, they tried to get it in to 3 different veins, and as they were getting in, the vein just shrank to nothing. So third time was a charm, and on the third attempt it went in. This is not the fault of the nurses that were doing this. This was just something that's unforeseen, you know? It's just something that can happen. So I basically had sort of 3 spots on my arm instead of just the one. So my arm, from that point, like even whenever I stood up after I'd had it fitted, even though my arm was frozen with lidocaine, I was aching, like aching. I could really feel a lot of pain and like tightness and stuff. Hold on, I'm definitely having to go off notes here. My head's still a mess. Yeah, whenever they were putting it in as well, I don't know if it was in my head. They put like a tourniquet, whatever, round the top of your arm whenever they're doing this. But I am convinced I could feel this going up to here, the tube inside me. I'm convinced, but I couldn't feel it going any further. They put like a wee scanner jobby on your chest while you're having this done, and then obviously they're using the ultrasound on your arm as they're placing it. The lidocaine injections weren't bad, you know, it's just like any other injection. Needles don't really bother me that much. Again, it was more just that I was scared of feeling this sensation of something wriggling up. They did say to me that I wouldn't feel anything, I might just feel pressure. So whenever the third time, whenever they actually did get it in, getting it in, the third time, without drinks or anything, mind. No drinks, no me. The third time, whenever they did get it in, the nurse that was doing it said, now you're going to feel some pressure, and I nearly passed out. I don't know what happened, but it wasn't pain as such. It wasn't pressure either. It was the most strange feeling I've ever felt, like something was being just like jammed without it hurting, but with it feeling very like alien. So anyway, I ended up, that whole thing, they said usually the time it takes between them bringing you in, talking you through it, placing it, and then you going is usually an hour. There was a clock beside the bed, and I was on that bed. Now, this is not including consultation and all the rest of it first. I was on that bed for an hour and 45 minutes while they worked at me. Whenever they eventually did get it in, and I'd said, so are you done then? You know, while violently shaking. They were like, yeah, we're just going to get you dressed. And I turned around and looked at the table, and it was just soaked in blood. They make you lie sort of on your back on a bed, and then they have like a table with a pillow, and you have your arm like stretched out like that onto it. So I was nearly sick whenever I seen the amount of like blood and stuff, which is totally fine. You know what I mean? It wasn't just a case of one attempt there. It was three, so you would expect there to be more blood than normal. They told me that like I got up, I could go home and all the rest of it straight away. They told me that if there was any like bleed through or anything like that, I needed to contact the emergency line and get straight back up to the hospital. So I come out like a flipping bat out of hell. I was like white and shaking like violently. I come out of the hospital, came straight home, and I must have been home all of like half an hour, 45 minutes, and I completely bled through all the bandages, so I freaked out and had to go straight back up to the hospital again. They brought me in, they looked at it, redressed it, everything, and said that it looked totally fine. It's just sometimes that can happen, so I bled a lot. I don't have, usually they'll put a metal clip in to hold it in place, but I'm allergic to nickel, like really allergic to nickel. Like I swell massively, really, really itchy, break out in like welts and stuff. So they couldn't put a clip in with me, so I have like a sort of a plasticky clip. You'll see it in the pictures. That holds it in place, and then a dressing. So I just have to be extra careful because the plastic clip that they use is sort of like adhesive, so it sticks to your skin. So it's not, you know, it's never going to be as effective as like a clip that is clipped into your skin to hold it in place. So I just need to be extra careful with it. And that's about the height of it. I will say now, the described sort of, I asked them, you know, how sore is this going to be afterwards, because I'm still not 100% with my right hand side. That's, this side is where I had my operations, and this side is the line side. So this, my right hand side is still weak and painful and just not, I can't do much for this arm. So that's why I wanted to know. And they just said, well, you'll probably have some discomfort afterwards. Understatement. I don't know whether it's because my arm was worked with so much or not, but I legitimately feel like my arm has been fed through a mincer. It is so sore. And there's like certain movements that I can make, and it nips so much. It's unreal. My arm, there's like, it looks like there's blood all around this, but it's not. It's bruising, heavy bruising underneath my skin. But at least it's in, and that's a hurdle that's over me. I must say, on Tuesday, whenever I was at my big appointment, I was actually quite shocked to find out that the PICC line was going in so soon. You know, like 2 days later. I was like, God, this is like taking me by surprise. I'm not prepared. You need to give me at least a week to get inside my head and torture myself. But I'm just glad, as you guys know, that they didn't spring it on me whenever I was there on Tuesday. At least I had a wee bit of time to prepare and freak myself out. So there's a district nurse. I got sent home with like a couple of big packs of things, lots of like blood vials and stuff like that. A district nurse will come out to my house every Monday. So she'll come out every Monday, redress the line and flush it. And then I think they said every third week. So it'll be just before I go back in for another session of chemotherapy. They'll take bloods from it. And then if the bloods are fine, then obviously I'll go ahead for my next session of chemo. So I have a nurse now coming out every Monday to look after me, which is good. You know what I mean? I know that like I'm not a million miles away from the hospital, but at the minute it's hard to get up and about. Which brings me to, I would do a drum roll, but my arms are too sore. Chemotherapy starts this Wednesday. I'm not sure of a time or anything like that. Because they told me whenever I was having the line fitted, they will ring me on Tuesday and give me a time and stuff like that for it. But I know that I'm definitely having it on Wednesday. So I have all my dates in place now. I'm really nervous about it. I know that like they've already explained to me and stuff, like before they give you it, they'll give you a lot of anti-sickness medication and stuff just to, you know, like stave off like any side effects that you could get, but I'm just still worried, and it is just fear of the unknown. you know. I think once I get my first appointment, like my first session of chemo over me, it'll put my mind at rest. Even if I get really bad side effects, like touch wood, I don't want them, but even I'll know what to expect, you know, so I'm not going into everything so blind. Um, I think that will put my mind at rest, so I'll know what I have in store for me. So the way my chemotherapy is working, I'm having that was something else. um, of all of the different kinds of chemo available, my first 3 sessions will be of PICC chemotherapy. Whenever I seen that, I almost died. I'm like, on the ball there, PICC chemotherapy. FEC, I don't know what it stands for, but I'm having 3 rounds of it first, and then hold on, hold please. Oh god, I can't even stretch that well. I've got me inside. Hold on. Right, so I have PICC chemotherapy first, and then I have, is it doxycycline or doxytaxel? This one. Where are you? There we go. So I have 3 rounds of PICC, and that's never going to get old, by the way, so get used to it. I have 3 rounds of PICC, once every 3 weeks, and it's the milder of the two. And then my final 3 sessions will be of the other one, which is, I can't even remember, doxytaxel. I'm probably butchering that. I have 3 sessions of that, and that's meant to be a lot harder on you. So I don't know which, like, obviously I don't get to choose or anything. But I don't know which one I would prefer. Maybe I would have preferred if I got to pick to have the heavy duty one first to get it out of the way, rather than having the easier one and then being wound down by that just to be hit with something that's harder. But again, obviously it's not like a restaurant. You just don't go in there and pick what you want. You get what the doctor gives you, because that's what's going to work best for you. And then I'll have a week of radiation, and I know that I'll stress about that too, because again, fear of the unknown. Don't know what it's going to feel like. I've seen on some of the support groups that I joined the blisters and stuff that different girls get from radiation. And my mum, she had she, as I've said before, she still has lung cancer. She's had radiation and she didn't find it too bad, but she was having it, like, she wasn't having it all at once. I'm having this back to back for a week every day. She had hers, you know, maybe every few days or maybe once a week, or I'm not entirely sure. I haven't even got round to quizzing her because I've had quizzing her. I haven't got round to asking her because I've been too busy like stressing about other things. So I'll need to like check in with her with that, but obviously like she hasn't had chemotherapy or anything like that, so she can't tell me her experience. Again, I have a friend and I don't want to go into too much information because it's not my place to say anything, but I used to go to college with her, and a really close member of her family has been through all this, and she has been amazing, like amazing with advice and stuff like that. But that's the only person that I know of, like personally, that I could talk to that has been through chemotherapy, that I can ask questions and stuff to. So I'm extremely grateful to have her and her family member. Yes, what else was I gonna say? Yes, that was the other thing. Someone had asked in the comments about whenever I had asked for if you had any like suggestions or anything or stuff that you would want to see video wise in future. Someone said, you know, like a day in a life at, you know, having chemo and everything. So I'm gonna get my first session over me, and then I'm gonna ask, would it be okay if I filmed? It's not gonna be great quality or anything like that. I will have to use my phone, Because at the minute I'm using my streaming setup, so it's like a webcam and stuff I'm using, and then obviously my mic for sound. What else would it be for? To look pretty. It's all glowy. Um, yeah, it'll be on a phone because I don't actually have a camera. I've always just used my phone because the camera on it is pretty good. But obviously I need to okay that with them because they mightn't be okay with it. And obviously if there's people in there, maybe nurses don't want filmed, maybe other patients don't want filmed or don't want to be seen, and it's not like I would be filming them specifically. It would be more like to take you, on a journey with me for the day to see what it's like. I don't want to do that for my first chemo session because I don't know how I'm going to be. I want to try and get one over me, know what to expect, but I'm going to ask. And if I can take you with me for the day, then I will, 100%. Because I think that seeing that kind of thing, if you yourself are going through similar, it might help to put your mind at rest. Or if you have a family member or a friend, seeing stuff like that, even though you may not be at the same hospital and stuff, you'll have like a good idea of what to expect. So, and the whole point of this channel and this video series has always been to try and help, so that sort of ties everything that's happened up this week, apart from like my emotions and stuff like that, which have been horrible, like absolutely terrible. Like I can definitely feel depression and everything really setting in. I touched on last week, I think it was, that because I've suffered from depression before, I can always feel it coming on, and I can usually pull myself back off the edge before I fall, and I just can't this time. I feel like someone's holding me over the edge of a cliff and there's nothing I can do about it. Can't pull myself back, can't do anything. So I'm just letting myself feel miserable. I'm just hoping if I let myself feel how I want to feel, then it'll get an awful lot better, rather than I've found myself, one thing that I've definitely found myself doing is whenever I'm very upset and needing to cry, holding it in for all, like with all my might, like trying to suck every emotion back in, and like I choke my tears down my throat. I'm just trying so badly to hold it in. And then there have been a good few nights this week, like whenever I've been lying in bed at night and I just let myself cry. I just sit and cry my heart out, and I do feel better afterwards for it. So I think that I'm trying to hold things in too much and I shouldn't be. I haven't streamed. I was meant to go back. I told everybody that obviously I wouldn't be there on Tuesday because I had that big appointment and everything. And then obviously Thursday I couldn't. I had a PICC line to go in, and I've been too sore since. But I will be back tomorrow evening. So whenever you guys are watching this Sunday, I'll be streaming round about 7ish. So if you want to stop by the channel and have a chat, say hello, whatever, the link to my Twitch channel's in the description box. I won't say the description bar, but yeah, the description box. So let me just quickly glance over these notes to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Oh yes, and I still need to, I tried stopping taking my painkillers completely. Thought it was fine, like having nothing for a few days, and then the pain in the back of the operation side arm was unbelievable. So bad, and it felt like it was deep gnawing pain, like in my bone. I don't know whether that's a good explanation for what I'm trying to say or what, but do you know a pain that just feels so deep, like it's radiating out from inside your bone? That's how I felt the whole way down the back of this arm. So it was like, right, maybe now's not the time to stop the painkillers. And then obviously everything with Thursday, with having the PICC line in and the complications that arose with that, I need to be taking them, because if I wasn't, I would be crying my eyes out from pain instead of misery for a change. So at least there'd be a bit of variety. I think that's all I've got for this week. It's I haven't really done anything other than go to my hospital appointments. Oh, I did think that there was a possibility I could have had coronavirus. Yesterday morning, I woke up with a headache so bad I could barely open my eyes. Now, this is coming from someone who suffers from migraine headaches. I was diagnosed with them as a kid, and the pain behind my eyes and across the top of my head was unbelievable. Like, it was so bad. I've never experienced anything like it before in my life, and Chris had said that sounds exactly like the sore head I had whenever he had the virus. So I took a test and I don't. So what I think I've actually done is I've worried myself half to death. Like, I've worried myself into like a brain breaking headache. So it's gone now and everything like that. But I think that's it for this week. There was a lot going on. Next week, even though I'm going through chemo and everything like that, I'll still be uploading every Sunday at 6. There may be shorter vlogs, obviously, because I'm gonna probably feel like crap and be lying in bed, so I won't have too much to report other than help me. Please, somebody help me. Other than just talking you through like how I'm feeling, the side effects, and how it went down and stuff like that. But I will keep everybody up to date. But if the vlog next week is shorter, that'll be the reason why. And maybe on the weeks that I have my chemo, they may be shorter for that reason. But as I start to feel better and pick up, I'll have more things to obviously chat about. Oh, and that was the last thing as well. The hospital referred me for a wig, and the wig lady rang me. So she said basically I can have anything that I want. So I sent her a photo of how my hair was before I chopped it all off, and just said just something the same as how I used to look, which is quite depressing. But the good thing about this short hair is my hair used to take me, because it's so thick and it's wavy, used to take me about an hour and a half to wash and dry and straighten. Now, legit 5-minute job done, which is good because my arms do not work at the minute. So holding hair dryers are not top of the agenda. But right, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it massively. Again, if you have any ideas for videos and stuff that you'd like to see, I know some of you guys have been asking for makeup videos, which I will gladly do. But I just need to get, through this first session of chemo first to find out where I'm able to, basically. But if you've any other ideas of things that you would like to sort of like me to talk about, if you've any questions, anything like that, just fire it in a comment. I read everybody's comments. They mean so much to me that you take the time out of your day to watch me, first of all, and then to send me a message. It's so kind and supportive, and I really do feel the support from you guys. But again, thank you. I will catch you guys next week. Please keep me in your prayers. Wednesday and the days following, I'm sure, are going to be tough. But prayers carried me this far, so's God. So he doesn't ignore prayer numbers. I'm living proof of that. But anyway, guys, until next week, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all later. Bye bye.